Hey guys, what's up? I'm Double X, and I'm here to review Ghostbusters 2016. And thank God, you cannot believe how much hate I have been getting ever since I said that I liked the trailer. For those who don't know, I made a reaction video to the first Ghostbusters trailer of this caliber. And yeah, I said that I liked it, and that I would be open-minded and looking forward to it. And the comment section has been flooded with hate comments, most of which I deleted because they were just based on nothing just but pure spite. And the dislike ratio was high, which is pretty much to be said for just about all the other Ghostbusters trailers that were released out since then. And for months and months, the internet had just been saying, oh, this is going to ruin the franchise. This is going to be horrible. These women should not be Ghostbusters. Well, gee, you had no problem with a female Ghostbuster back when there was a cartoon about it. Look, I'm just going to make this perfectly clear. A few things that you should know before I start this review. 1. I was optimistic about this Ghostbusters trailer because I like Melissa McCarthy. I saw some of her work, she's funny, and with a few exceptions of some bad choice movies, she can become very funny. She can work a scene, especially when she's working with her SNL crew. 2, I am not a big a huge Ghostbusters fanboy. I have a friend named Dan Ritchie. He's one of the head leaders of the Philadelphia Ghostbusters. He is a big Ghostbusters fan. He's hardcore. He has tattoos of Ghostbusters. He's hardcore. I'm not. And even he was saying that he was very open-minded about the whole situation. Honestly, I went into this movie just wanting a good Ghostbusters film. And more or less, I actually got it. Yes, I'm not saying this movie is better than the original. There's no question that the original will always be better. However, it's not horrible. The movie itself is not that horrible or anything. Yeah, there could have been some improvement here and there, but overall, it's a decent movie. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't fantastic. It was okay. So what do I like about this film, and what can you really gauge from this? Well, it is essentially a remake of the original Ghostbusters film, but it doesn't follow things beat for beat. You do have some scientists that are trying to go in their professional fields. You have some firing here and there, kind of similar, but you also have a little new elements. There's actually a villain in this Ghostbusters film. Now, I'm not saying that Walter Peck wasn't a villain in a sense, or having Zool as a villain, but essentially there was a guy that was trying to cause a stir with all these paranormal activities, and who actually was having an agenda and have an evil scheme to take over the world or whatnot. Basically, we have a villain who is essentially laying out all these devices throughout New York City, amplifying their paranormal activity, and it's up to the female Ghostbusters to stop them. You have Holtzman, Patty, Abby, and I can't remember the scientist lady. Kind of blanking. Yep, probably should have remembered her name. Oh, Aaron's, yeah. I think Erica. But yeah, sorry. Essentially, yeah, those four get all together and having to stop all these ghosts and paranormal apparitions. And all the meanwhile, we have Chris Hemsworth, which he's pretty much the receptionist, but unlike from the original, our female receptionist from the original, who's like, Ghostbusters, what do you want? This receptionist is pretty much an idiot. He's kind of like the stereotypical strong guy, yet not so strong in the head type cliche, which, kind of works for me. Never really found Chris Hemsworth role where he actually plays an idiot before, so this is kind of new. But yeah, I do like the characters, some better than others, but I do like Patty and Holtzman. Those are the characters I remember the most because they had a lot of personality and flair to them, and it just had some really funny lines. I do like the cameos that they make, with the exception of Harold Ramis, because, he passed away. And for the record, there are going to be 4 cameos by our famous Ghostbusters cast. So, just a heads up from there. And they do add a nice little spice to it all. One of the cameos actually have a more longer lasting role, for the most part. Some of the negatives, I feel like, a lot of people didn't like the fact that the Fall Out Boy made a remix of the Ghostbusters theme. Yeah, I did hear it, and I wasn't a fan either. And there are some scenes that felt a little bit rushed out here and there. But overall, the premise got it pretty well. Not all the jokes landed, but there was some humor to it. And yeah, I guess I can say that there was some strong elements to it. Like having like the uncle's van, Patty having an uncle who, guess who is his uncle at the end. Mm-hmm. And she lending her one of her Hertzes to turn into the Ecto-1. Or I guess it's going to be Ecto-2 at the end. But yeah, there was some nice elements to it. Don't follow the trailers on how the ghosts look, because they actually do look a lot better in the movies as opposed to the trailer. None of that Scooby-Doo comparison crap. And there were some ingenuity, like how they were making different devices and elements to the Ghostbusters besides the proton packs and ghost traps, which I actually kind of like. Yeah, one could say it's just marketing for new toys, but I do like how they're exploring new realms as to how different ways they can go about fighting the ghosts. Do I have any negatives? Well, we'll kind of list them off. There are some jokes that didn't land, some elements that felt a bit rushed. And I guess one could argue that the whole bad guy sentencing, trying to make a doomsday device kind of seems a bit cliche at this point, especially with superheroes. But for the most part, I did have some enjoyment with this film. And I do think that this cast, with Melissa McCarthy and the rest and her friends, really do have a lot of work to them. And I do like how they were able to play off each other. I do feel like there are some elements that could be improved, especially for a sequel, because you want to stay for the credits and after credits, because they do have a little bit of a hinting for what they want to have in the next sequel. And I'm all for it, As long as we have more Ghostbusters and keeping up with the Ecto Cooler, I'll be happy. So yeah, there are some things that you can nitpick here and there that might turn off a few Ghostbusters fans. But really, for me, it's minor nitpicks because I'm not a huge hardcore fan, but I still love the franchise regardless. I do think that for most people, they might not gel with it properly, but for the most part, I think it's an okay movie, which I'm happy that is the end result, because with all the hate being passed out through multiple months, and everyone's claiming that this would be the death of the franchise, when really Ghostbusters 2, which was basically a bad rehash of the first Ghostbusters, already did that. And I actually am happy that this movie has a bit of more of a different spin to it. They're retelling the story of the Ghostbusters, but they're not having things played out beat for beat. There is different things to be taken from it, which I am personally happy about. So, yeah. You can gauge with that whether you want to see it or not want to see it, but just to let you know, it's not really horrible. It's not horrible at all. It's decent. It's not saying that there are scenes that are like, oh my god, that was the funniest scene ever, or oh my god, that scene was incredibly shot, but there are some good scenes. Just ones that are not, groundbreaking. So, overall, good movie. I do give my thumbs up to it, and I would like to buy it to add to my collection with the other Ghostbusters film. And if you want to see it, then go right ahead. Just don't expect this to be the better than the original, because even it knows it won't be better than the original. So, that's all I have to say about that. And for the God's sakes, please stop hating on it. Unless you see the film, then quit with all this hate and all this misogynistic bullcrap. Alright, that's all I have to say about it. Thanks again for watching. As always, I'm Double X, and I will see you next time.